Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Mind Your Fucking Business with your host, Jeffrey Princeton.
Thank you, Dougie Sticks, coming to you from the beautiful studios of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is Mind Your Fucking Business podcast. You guys can chill the music, although you're very, very excited over there for the holiday week with Thanksgiving coming up. This is the Mind Your Fucking Business podcast brought to you by our good friends at the Bamboozle Project, as well as DraftKings. We encourage you to check out the bamboozleproject.com, shop the entire site, get whatever you would like, whether it be MYPB gear or some of the other cool stuff that they sell on their platform. But most importantly, when you go to checkout, use promo code MYPB and save yourself 20% off your entire order. We thank DraftKings as well, and we welcome you to episode. I'm going to have to get this right. Now, as we go up here in numbers, it gets a little bit harder for me because I don't speak Spanish, but it is episode 211, 211 on the Spanish dial. So if you're joining using the SAP features available to you this morning or whenever you're listening to this episode, we welcome you. And we are taping this episode just so you know when we're current in time. If you're streaming it at a later date, it is Wednesday morning, the morning before Thanksgiving on 2025. So it is Wednesday, November 26th. You can send us your questions and comments, concerns, thoughts, rage, whatever you want to do at Mind Your Fucking Business on the Instagram platform. We have a rule here, and you know that we answer every single DM. We stay on top of that. We love hearing from you, and we will respond. Whatever you got for us, we'll give right back to you.
Yeah.
And you can watch the show live this morning, as I mentioned, November 26th on Instagram Live or on YouTube, or you can stream it at a later date at your convenience on other platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. How are you, Dougie Sticks?
Find us everywhere.
Yes. How are you?
Good. You know, it's a nice little holiday we got coming up. Nice.
It is. Tomorrow being Thanksgiving Day for those that are listening in the U.S. I know, like, if you're out of the country, some of the people that listen to us north of the border, and someone in Chile that writes to me, and then Sweden, you're probably like, what holiday is it? It is Thanksgiving here in the U.S. So before we get into it, I just want to do like a reminder real quick, because people have been asking me, are you going to be live Wednesday? Yes, we're going to be live Wednesday. We're almost on every Wednesday. So I don't know why we wouldn't be, but we're here. Are you going to be live Wednesday, and are you going to go nuts? Because I want to tune in and see you go nuts. I want to see you lose your mind and all that stuff.
Give the people what they want?
Maybe. However, we do things here in chronological order of events and sequence of events from our last episode, which was last week. So we're going to start with the Colorado game, which was last Thursday night. When we were on Wednesday morning, the Rangers were coming off the night before a 3-2 loss in Vegas, and their short 3-game kind of not West Coast, but like mountain time zone road trip found them with their next stop in Colorado. When you go into a game, and this is what happened on Thursday night, and you're playing a team that's 13-1, you cannot, you want to win these games, right? But you can't have the expectations, like you're not going to be overconfident that the Rangers are going to win a game when or any team that you may root for in sports when you're going against a team that's 13-1. One thing that was apparent to me before we get into the game itself, you can see the difference in why Colorado is a 13-1 team in terms of roster construction than the Rangers, right? You have Nathan McKinnon. You have Cale Makar, who is a Norris Trophy playing defenseman, which, by the way, Adam Fox is not these days. They have Martin Necas. They have a bunch of guys there that are actually legitimate superstars and play at superstar level. Mika gets them on the board early. And what I was thinking was it was showing you, and we talked about this on Wednesday morning, that if you're a fan of the Rangers, they could beat a team that's 13-1 and then lose to a team that's 0-11. You wouldn't be surprised. That's how things work in a franchise. And you think that when they get on the board in a game like that early, maybe that's going to happen. JT Miller, and we're going to get into this after we do some game recaps, had a video surface the night or 2 nights prior in Vegas, which was a 101 video. You would show a 6-year-old Pee-wee hockey team on how not to play defense in the defensive zone, or actually how to not care when you're out on the ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into JT Miller in a minute, but there was a thought, and someone had said it, and it was a good thought, and they ended up being right, that, look, JT Miller stuff is out there. He's probably going to go out and do something in Colorado and really show up because he's annoyed. He scored twice. He tied it in the third, but then 30 seconds later, McKinnon gets them the lead back Colorado that they don't relinquish, and Colorado goes on to win 6-3. The Rangers are outshot 35-19 which is certainly annoying. But, I'd have to look, and this would be an easy stat to figure out. The Rangers seem to be outshot in every single game. I mean, they are definitely outshot way more than they have more shots this season.
Lately.
Yeah. I don't even think it's close, but someone could pull that stat for us. You can see the gap looking again at that team between their top guys playing like top guys and the Rangers' top players, or whoever you want to call their top players these days, not playing as top talent. And as I say that, I said earlier about 3 minutes ago that, there's guys like McKinnon and Cole McCarr and Natchez. All of those guys had 3 points in the game, right? And they win, their team wins 6-3 and goes to 14-1. That's the opposite of what's going on with the Rangers. Utah, they go to Utah Mammoth on Saturday night, all right? And Utah has this kind of thought, and I'm guilty of it too, and maybe you are if you're listening, that Utah, you think like, well, I don't really know who Utah is, so they're probably terrible. It should be an easy win. Utah's been playing okay, right? They're coached by, what's his name, Alex Tanguay. I forgot his last name, the French guy. They're well coached. They're a good. They're good. They're better than you would think. Doesn't mean they're great like Colorado. The problem to me on Saturday night is this. Saturday night, what drove me nuts, and it's still pissing me off 5 days later, is when you're playing your 39-year-old backup goalie in Jonathan Quick, and maybe he's not deserving of the word backup because he's been better than a backup, and that's fair to say. But when you're playing your 39-year-old backup goalie, who's already won 2 Stanley Cups, or wait, actually, he's won 2. He hasn't won 3. I don't think he was there in Vegas when they won it. He's either won 2 or 3, right? So he's won 2 or 3 Stanley Cups. He's 39 years old. He doesn't need to be doing this anymore. And he's the only one out there playing and giving an effort, right? I can deal with losing to a team 2 nights earlier that's 3 cups.
3 cups.
3 cups? Okay, he's had 3 cups. So Jonathan Quick has 3 cups. He's 39 years old. He doesn't need to be doing this anymore. Why is he the only one out there that actually gives a crap? I can live 2 nights prior when you go to Colorado and play a team that's 13-1 and you lose by a score of whatever it was, 6-3, right? I can deal with that. I want my team to win, but I would be the ultimate homer if I told you that I'm going to be annoyed because my team didn't beat a team that's 13-1. No, we try to be objective here, right? You're not supposed to beat teams that are 13-1, but you're also not supposed to show up against a team that's maybe above average, mediocre to average, and not show up and not get off the bus. And the only person that cares is your 39-year-old goalie and get outshot 34-22. I'm not even going to get in to the specifics of the game. I can get into Gavrikov, who was the only good player that night, I guess, other than Quick, who had a goal and an assist. And Gavrikov, and it's a discussion for another day. There's too many other major issues here with this team to talk about, but Gavrikov has been really good. Like, you want to find something positive and you say, okay, stop being negative Nancy and, positive Pete or whatever you want to call it. Okay, Gavrikov's been good since he's been here. I can deal with it. But you're outshot 34-22. That game could have been, because Jonathan Quick, again, similar to the week before when I saw him at the Garden against Detroit, some of the saves he made are grade A opportunities. That game could have been 11-1. That game could have easily been 7-2 after the second period if it wasn't for Jonathan Quick. It's frustrating to me. There's different levels of problems, right? And we can dissect it all, and we will in a minute, or we'll try to, right? It's not easy to do, right? We'll just take a run at trying to dissect these problems. However, when you look like you're a team that doesn't care and you don't get off the team bus to play and don't have the passion, we can talk about Chris Drury. We can talk about Artemi Panarin. We can talk about Alexis Lafreniere. We can talk about anyone you want. Anyone. I don't care. We can talk about Igor, Adam Fox not playing like a Norris, anything, Christian, whatever you want.
Rempe?
You want to talk about Rempe? Throw him in. Throw in Gabe Perreault. But if you don't play with passion and you don't show up like you care, it doesn't matter who's on the roster.
True.
Nothing else matters, right? And again, this was the thing last year of all 137 things that pissed me off. That pissed me off the most is when they look like they don't care. I'm a season ticket holder. I have 14 tickets. I'm spending 14 tickets on every game, and you don't show up? I mean...
It's crazy. We're going to blame the coach again? We're going to get a new coach?
Well, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah?
Monday night, they come home and play St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought for sure, they would lose Monday night. Come back home. The Rangers, and this is not an excuse, they've had a really weird schedule, right? They come home for one game, and now they're back on the road again for two. They've been away a lot, which has probably been for the better because we know what their home record is versus their away record so far this season. Igor stops Braden Shan on a breakaway in the first period, which was nice. And I will say this, and I say this as a compliment to Igor. I'm not saying this as a negative thing. I actually mean this in a positive way. So don't take this negative because what I'm about to say is positive. When I'm watching that and Shen came in on the breakaway, for some reason I just said to myself, Igor's going to stop it. Like I wasn't concerned, and you should be when an opposing team has a breakaway against your goalie. And I was like, he'll stop it, and he did. So credit to Igor for doing that. What I liked about it, and I've been saying this, that when when something goes wrong at home this year, they fold. That's the end of it. They pack it in for the remaining 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is, and they look like they don't care. They went down 1-0, and I said to myself, look, if they don't get the first goal of the game, they're going to lose. But they fought back. Trocheck scores in the second, and it really was set up by a beautiful pass by Johnny Brodzinski. I've never been a huge Brodzinski fan. I've also never been a Johnny Brodzinski hater. I've just been in the middle. But I have to say, Brodzinski's actually had a pretty decent year, Johnny. So he's, he gives a beautiful pass to Trocheck. He scores. Lafreniere scores early on a tip-in the third to give them a 2-1 lead. Every single time, I'm telling you, and this is embarrassing, every single time that Alexis Lafreniere scores a goal, I say to myself like a freaking moron, this is going to be the goal that catapults him to go on a run, and all of a sudden he's going to turn into the number 1 overall pick that we all thought he should be because he just scored, and this is going to be his springboard to get him to go further, and it never happens.
He is back.
And like a moron, literally every and Nikolai's right. You can put that up. How many times have you said that he's right?
Too many
times. This is the first thing when I see a puck go in off that Lafreniere scores on, I say to myself, this is it. This is the moment. Now he's going to score the next game, and he's going to go on a run, and he's going to be the generational man that I was promised I was getting in the summer of 2020. And it never happens. But he scores there to go up 2-1. And I you know what? Maybe I'll be proved wrong. Let's see what he does tonight. Rangers take a 2-1 lead. Adam Edstrom, who I'm not getting on another Ranger page, had posted something yesterday. And Adam Edstrom scores here because he does the right thing. He goes to the net, right? He goes in front of the net. The puck finds a stick. He puts it in. They go up 3-1. All right. Adam Edstrom, I saw a quote yesterday that said something along the lines of, Adam Edstrom said he's been working on his offensive game and he feels different scoring. He has 2 goals in 3 games or something like that. If my season in November, or any time for that matter in March, is coming down to me reading quotes about Adam Edstrom is trying to find his offensive game, that's going to be a problem, right? I mean, it's just realistically, I'm not going to lie, that is a problem. So, but Adam Edstrom does the right thing. He goes to the net and scores and gives them a 3-1 lead. Now, if you're listening to us, maybe you're in the car and you're going to Thanksgiving and this was, yesterday and you're tuning us in and whatever you're doing, and you play hockey, you're a youngster, you play hockey, peewee level, you're learning the game, you're a new fan, whatever it may be. I am going to show you something right here that I need you to pay attention to. Brett Berard is trying to make the team. This is nothing new, right? I've actually been a Brett Berard fan. And I still am.
Is this the one whose father-in-law?
I believe it's well, maybe his dad who played in.
No, which player?
No, that's the coach. You're talking about the coach and Connor Sherry. You're talking about Connor Sherry. Okay, we'll get to him in a minute. He's on there today. Don't worry. All right. Brett Berard, you may like him and you may think he should play on the roster and get called up, and I do, right? I'm for that. Yeah. What Brett Berard did the other day is might be the worst thing to help your case to keep you on an NHL roster. Your team has a 3-1 lead, all right? And you take a double minor for high sticking to literally give your team, the opponent, an opportunity to get back in the game is the worst thing you could do to make a case that, hey, I don't want to go back to Hartford in the AHL. Now, Hartford, and Nikolai, who's watching, is from the area, and he could also tell you great pizza places up there that he's told me and I've been to. Hartford might be very nice around the holidays. Maybe they do a nice Christmas stuff downtown. I have no idea. However, I will tell you, He doesn't want to go to Hartford. But when you play and you do something like that, that's the kind of thing that gets you a one-way ticket to Hartford.
Yeah.
It will get you a one-way ticket. I don't care if you're trying to get a stick lift there, and I don't care if you didn't mean to do it and it wasn't your fault that its skin broke and there was blood and the 2-minute penalty became a 4-minute penalty. I don't care. You can't put yourself in a position where it happens in the first place. Thankfully, they kill it, and in typical Ranger fashion, they make it interesting in the end and they hold on to win 3-2. I said, and I debated saying this morning. I'm going to say it because I'm trying to be very honest and open.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the game Monday night. They're up 3-1. I was watching it. Actually, at the time, it was just me and my daughter, and we were watching it. All right. And I said to her, I said, Abby, listen, if they blow this game, this was when it was like 3-1 right before the double minor. I said, if they blow this game and lose, I might literally just like need a break. Like I may, and I was expecting. No, we're not. I may need a break. Thankfully, they did not. You in this panic button. Man. You love this thing.
What do you think?
No, we're not pushing it. We're going to get into panicking because that's our most requested question this week. Anyway, they hold on to win 3-2. Now, look, you want to get excited that they won Monday night? Go ahead. Go plan a parade, dance around, do whatever you want to do. That's fine. However, you played a team. I believe St. Louis is 7-10-2. They're not that good. You're supposed to beat that team. It's not the Rangers' fault that was who was on their schedule Monday night, but when that's a team that comes into Madison Square Garden, if you have any aspirations of having a long-term run in the spring, it's something of quality, you need to win a game like that, and they did. So congratulations, you move on to the next game. The Rangers are in Carolina tonight, and then they have back-to-backs over the weekend as they welcome in Boston. I'm sorry. They're in Carolina tonight. They're in Boston on Friday. They welcome in Tampa on Saturday, which I believe I'm going to. And then they are home against Dallas on Tuesday. I mentioned earlier this JT Miller video that surfaced. I and Allie saw her first win at the Garden. And you can put up Allie's comment, that Ranger girl, because she saw that on Monday night. I did think to myself, Allie, and I looked back on Instagram to see if you were there because I know that they were undefeated without you and you hadn't seen a win. So I'm glad that we kind of broke that streak. This JT Miller video that's surfacing. There was a video, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, though, that we're not pushing it.
I was just fixing the letters.
You're fixing it for okay, you love this thing. I believe it was in the second period. It was because it was the play where I think it was Theodore scored a power play goal against Igor.
Yeah.
JT Miller makes a play, and I'm going to get into it a little bit more here. JT Miller makes a play that if I ever was like, here's what you don't want to teach your kids. Here's what you don't want to teach your wife if you're trying to get your wife into the game. Here's what you don't want to teach your friends. Whoever it may be, insert person here.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you would show them as how not to play. And this is the captain of the New York Rangers. The JT Miller video, there's so many things about that video that bother me to the point that I haven't actually watched it in 4 days. Okay. But what bothers me the most about it is, again, what I said earlier with the Utah game, which is it just seems that there's a lack of care and effort and passion. And the funny thing is this is the player that's illustrated in this video is the one that came out with shirts that said no BS. I can't. So now you're watching these, you're coming up with this slogan, which, look, I appreciated at the time because after the year the Rangers are coming off of in 2024, 2025, I like the fact that you're coming out with this mantra, no BS, and all wearing the shirts with
no
the
quit New York.
Yeah, no BS with the line through the BS. We're not doing it. And that guy,
that's the guy.
That's the guy that does it.
You know what? That video looks eerie similar to Panarin's video. That was like, what was that last year?
But there probably was Panarin because now, well, you'll open up a can of worms there with Panarin playing defense. So thank you very much.
I don't think Chris is here
yet.
I
don't see Chris. I don't see Chris yet. Chris is not here, thankfully. But there will be other people I can see that are in the chat.
Similar video.
Yeah,
Panarin
it is an eerily similar video for sure. So the JT Miller video is just frustrating. Now, I've said for a while, other people have, that JT Miller has to be hurt. You cannot be this bad. You cannot have a drop in your skill or regression in your talent overnight like this. You can't say, well, he's regressed because now he has the captaincy of him. Maybe that weighs on a player. But if the answer is that his stats have dropped so much because he's wearing the C on his chest, get the damn C off his chest.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, like you've got to at that point, like he has to be hurt. Just as a reminder, and you all know this because you're fans of the Rangers if you're watching this, but JT Miller got hurt in training camp. He went down in a non-contact injury like the Monday before the season.
Mhm.
I believe it was the Monday. So they opened against Pittsburgh on Tuesday. So it was 8 days before, a week and a day before he went down. And at the time, the Rangers, when there's injuries, say nothing. Like, you literally have no idea. Someone gets hurt, and it could be the sort of thing where they're back next game or they could be out 3 years. You have no idea, right? And they leave you wondering. And your mind, when you see a non-contact injury, he tore his ACL, yada, yada, yada. He's out for a while. He came back the next week. I'm starting to think he shouldn't have, because whatever happened to him in training camp, he still has to have some side effects of it. And the play has to be a byproduct of this injury, because it's impossible to regress this much. It's impossible to play defense like that and not care and skate around. I mean, it's like you're at it. So I'm wearing an Iska shirt today, right? Iska Hockey, where I play hockey. All right. Great place, Northern New Jersey. I believe they have open skates all weekend. I think I saw they even have it today for those in the holiday weekend. It's JT Miller skating in that video is what you would expect if you were at Iska and you were watching like 9 and 10-year-olds just skate around to like Taylor Swift on the stereo at like playing open skate. That's what JT Miller is doing in the video. Somebody, and I don't have the ability to do this because I am not technology savvy. Someone should make a video. And if someone wants to do this, I'll post it. I'll give you credit of that video and put on there like a Taylor Swift song, like an open skate, and JT Miller, he'll fit right in. He really will.
So let me ask you this. Wouldn't it be smarter for him to just take a break for 2 weeks?
But it's not. But I don't think it's not ultimately just his decision. Management,
I can't skate. I'm hurt.
But I'm sure he's part of it. However, it has to be a combination of Miller and management. There's no way that you give that lack of an effort if you're not hurt. It also coincides, coincidentally, with a massive drop in your production. It also coincides with you going down with a non-contact injury 6 weeks ago. My son, who I've talked about, broke his leg, right? He is 12 years old. We went back to the hospital yesterday. Yeah. It's been 11 weeks. He's not a professional athlete skating on it, and he's not fully healed.
Well, he's trying to play baseball.
He is trying to play baseball in the backyard. Correct. But my point is that he can, whatever happened to him that day is still going on. I'd rather you take some time off, try and get better, than play, waste yourself at a 20% effort.
And drag it out, and you're going to drag it out and want to lose rather than take 2 weeks and then come back full strength and we can start winning some games.
Now, Allie, who brings up a point, and again, I love when people disagree with me, and that's fine. And Allie says, why don't you pull up that Ranger girl? Can we stop being so dramatic about the clip? He was fatigued from a long shift and he's hurt. That's not indicative of the way he plays. When he's healthy, he's a power play.
Yeah, but this is also,
which is true.
She's going to be shaving her head soon.
Allie's in trouble if Aaron doesn't get to 50. But, so Allie's right, but the problem, Allie, is if he's not healthy, he shouldn't be in the lineup, is really my point, right? If there's lingering injuries, he can't be in the lineup, right? He's got to get himself out of the lineup. Yeah. And I understand he's been a long shift, but the other thing is he doesn't care. He doesn't give you any body language that he cares as the captain of the team when they got scored on at the end of that shift, right?
Yeah.
The Rangers have bigger problems than that clip. I'm not saying that that's like, the number one thing out there. But it's, he is, yes, he's a point per game player. I get that. Trust me, Allie, I have a bet. I'm going to tell you guys what I did. It's so stupid. And I said to people, this was the easiest bet I've ever seen, and I'm going to lose on it. DraftKings had a bet. I have $250. It's still a bet that's live right now. I'm going to lose. I'm getting killed on this. That said, what player in the NHL has more points this season, JT Miller or Pettersson in Vancouver, which was the player he had the falling out with? And if you look at the stats when JT Miller got traded here at the end of January, of Miller the last 2 months of the NHL season, and Pettersson, Miller murdered him. I mean, it was disgustingly inaccurate, right? And like Allie said, like when he was here in the spring, he was a point per game player, right? As a matter of fact, I think he had 8 points in his first two games. I am getting destroyed on this bet. So I understand he's a point per game player. I bet on that, but it's not happening here. Jonathan Quick, injured on Saturday night at the end of the game, goes to the IR. So when you look at the schedule now coming up, you are in Carolina tonight. You are in Boston on Friday. You're home against Tampa on Saturday, which I believe I'm going to. You're home against Dallas on Tuesday, and then you're off until Saturday versus Colorado. I believe the move was retroactive to when he got hurt, which would be last Saturday, which would make sense because next week he would be eligible to come off of the IR Saturday or Sunday, and the Rangers play both Saturday and Sunday because they play, and listen to this schedule, they play Colorado next Saturday at the Garden and then Vegas the next night. So my thought is that Quick is already scheduled to play next Sunday night when he is eligible, and it is the second day of a back-to-back. So I'm going to say this. The next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that the Rangers have, I do not want to hear that Igor is tired. Igor should be playing every single game. You just got a contract with the highest paid goalie contract in history. You are playing every game.
Would you agree, or would you say that Jonathan Quick plays more than any other backup goalie in the league?
No, I don't think so. You could look at the stats. I don't think so. However, Igor benefits that Quick's record. Well, he gets rest. And also, when Quick is playing, you're having a pretty darn high quality backup.
Yeah.
We'll pull up Allie's comment. I can't. Something also for $11.5 million. Igor has not been making the big saves he's needed to, but none wants to speak of. And that's fair also. Igor has not been good. Igor was very good the first week of the season. If you are an Igor defender, and I'm not, doesn't sound like Allie is either. But if you're an Igor defender, I'm going to point to you to the San Jose game where the Rangers gave Igor 5 goals of goal support for San Jose, and they didn't win. I mean, that should be enough for any team. That should be enough for San Jose. And I understand Macklin Celebrini, Boston University product, is having a good season, but you should not be in an issue. You should not be letting up 6 to San Jose. So Igor's got to play. I don't know anything. I don't want to pretend that I know a lot about this. Dylan Garant. What's you want to pull up?
11.5.
Yeah, we'll pull up Dennis's comment. At 11.5, Igor is a big part of the issue, right? At 11.5 million, right? You have to be standing on your head. I understand you're not going to do it every game, but you've got to do it more than what's happening. We'll pull up Nikolai's comment. Igor glove side high is the money spot if you are a shooter. So Nikolai just gave a nice scouting report to Rod Brindamore tonight.
Don't do that.
Come on,
what are you
Nikolai.
doing, Nikolai? He watches the show.
So Dennis is also saying so is Panarin not good at 10 million if they're going to re-sign him. So Nikolai, perfect timing. Garand, I believe that's how you pronounce the last name. Dylan Garand is not a savior. I don't want to see Dylan Garand in the next week. I don't care that Igor has to play back-to-back games Friday or Saturday. I really don't.
Yeah, come on.
I better not see this guy unless for some reason, and I hope it doesn't happen, Igor gets hurt. There is no reason for me that guy should ever step on the ice. If Igor has a game where they're down 5-1 in the third and you want to give him rest and get this guy in, fine. That's great. You can pull up Dennis's comment that he agrees with me on this. I don't want to see this guy. I'm going to explain something to you. I am going Saturday. I got invited yesterday, completely unrelated to the podcast.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with this. I got invited to go Saturday and sit in the Madison Club. I'm going Saturday with my son to do that. All right. If I go there and I have to see Dylan Garand in goal because Igor played Friday in Boston, I will actually be I'll be furious if that happens.
I mean, he's getting 11.5. You play. Give me 200,000. I'll play all the games. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yes, I better not see this guy. And again, I think Quick's move is retroactive. I think the timing works that he can come off for that Vegas game on the second half of the back-to-back, not this coming weekend, the following weekend. All right, is it time to panic? Those of you who want me to go ballistic, I'm tuning in. I can't wait to see you go nuts. I can't wait to see this. Blah 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 blah. All right. Is it time to panic? You can hold up the button. Now, if you're new here, right? If you're new here.
You actually told me to hold it this time.
We're not going to push it.
Come on.
Doug, the 2025 Podcast Awarded Co-Host of the Year.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that award.
Thank you, guys.
By the way. It has this stupid button that shows up the last few years around here. It never showed up 2 years ago. And that, like the lights sync in the studio when he pushes it and he loves it and it makes a siren. And it's really annoying. Can you pull up NHL Crazy 2007's comment? Because it's going to answer exactly what I just said. And that is that the second one from the top. And that is that Jeff only should have sounded off if the Rangers lost to the Blues. The second one up.
There you go.
All right. And that is what would have happened. I'm going to not panic. And Allie's going to agree with me that we're not going to panic until Thanksgiving. But I'm going to say this. You saw me just tell Doug that he can, he can dust it off. If they want to test it when I'm not here, because I boogie on out here real quick at the end of every show. I don't know what they do the rest of the days around these Undefeated Media Studios. If they want to test it in the event that it's going to happen, that's fine. So here's my thoughts with this team. This team, Ed Maturko is joining, and Ed Maturko can give you a scouting report because we're playing Tampa on Saturday, and he is a Tampa fan. He might be the only Tampa fan I know. Anyway, my thoughts on this team. I said over the summer something, and it's coming back to be more correct than I thought it would be. So I'm not saying it like I get credit for saying it. I'm just saying it because it ended up being right and right more than I thought. The team has a severe lack of depth. The other night on Monday night, when they showed before the game the line rushes or whatever it was called, and like who was playing with who, and I see that Parsonen is centering Artemi Panarin. If you had told me in the beginning, I mean, it's actually funny. I see you smiling, and that's a fair reaction. If you had told me at the beginning of the year that at any point in the season, I'm watching Artemi Panarin line up to the left side of UC Parsonen, I would, who now, by the way, has been removed from the team since Monday night. Like the team doesn't have depth. Allie pointed out, and she's right. And Dennis even alluded to it too. And it's not getting a lot of as much press as it should. Igor has not been great this year. I saw something that someone had posted the top 10 Vezina, candidates so far, a quarter through the season. Igor Shesterkin's not even on that top 10 list, right? And you want to say he's not 1, 2, or 3, and you'll be okay. I can live with it. But if you're not in the top 10, that's ridiculous at that salary. So the goaltending hasn't been good. You can't rely on a 39-year-old who's now hurt to keep carrying you. I mean, it's ridiculous what Jonathan Quick is doing as it is. I mean, if he never played again, if he never played another game for the Rangers, he still would have done enough in his time here. I don't think they're very good. Why I'm not panicking is this. I'm not panicking because it's early, and we're talking about the Blues. And in 2009, the Blues won the Stanley Cup. In January, they had the worst record of any team entering the new year that would go on to win the Stanley Cup. So, do you have to be playing well in November to win the Stanley Cup? No. Also, last year, in 2024-2025, where it was a disastrous season, the Rangers started off the first 6 weeks. They were great. They were phenomenal. And then it all went terrible in the Buffalo game that Dennis and I sat through. That is the earliest I've ever left a Ranger game in my life. It was ugly. And then from there, it was a free fall like you couldn't even see coming. But we're not at a point, and if you look at the standings, they're not that far out. Igor's capable of playing better. Maybe JT Miller gets rest. Some of these guys have to start scoring. I mean, Allie doesn't want to shave her head if Panarin doesn't get 50 points. At some point, they've got to get better. Certain things have to turn around. I'm not panicking yet. But I will say this. There are certain signs, and again, the lack of effort that we just talked about in the JT Miller video and some other things you've seen this year, like the Utah game the other night, would make me worry that some of the things that plagued this team last year, even though there's a new coaching staff and the roster is different, it's not completely different. It doesn't have Kreider and Trouba, but it still has Mika and Fox and Panarin and Igor. There's plenty of guys that are back, and Trocheck. Some of the things that really plagued them last year are still there.
Still plaguing.
Yeah. And will the shaving of the head happen live on MYPB?
Absolutely.
We'll get Allie in the studio if she would like. Hopefully Panarin has 50 points. I have to say, Coffee Sports Collectibles sent me something in my house. I saw it last night. That you sent me a package. I'm going to open it today. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've had some things going on outside of here. I will get on that today, and I owe you opening a package. Schneider needs, we'll take some questions from the chats. Nikolai, Schneider needs a Fox-like partner. Schneider has been decent. I've been saying that the last few weeks. Again, I will have also said that Gavrikov has been really good. If you want to find players, we're not giving out quarter season grades, although hint, it might be a post in the next week or so on Instagram. Gavrikov might have the highest grade on the team with Quick. Unless you guys see anything different. I can't give it to Trocheck because Trocheck, while he's been good, he hasn't played in that many games. Like, who would be, let me ask you this. Put it in the chat. Give me one player who's your team MVP right now. Who has been their best player this year? And you guys can tell me. Who has been the team MVP? I think it's the only problem with Jonathan Quick is that, and Carrick's a good one. Mika's up there too. The problem with Quick, it's hard to give an MVP to someone who's played in 6 games. And Chris is saying it's Gabe the Great because he's trying to be a jerk. It's not Gabe the Great and his 1 assist. I mean, Jonathan Quick could be the answer, but I'm actually going to go with Gavrikov. And Jonathan Quick, because he only played 5 or 6 games, I can't give it to him. And I'm going to give it to Gavrikov. And I think that it seems to be the majority of what you guys are saying on Instagram as well as YouTube. But here's the problem. You notice how no one is saying it's Panarin because he has 39 points, or nobody's saying it's Igor because his goals against is 1.96, or nobody's saying it's Adam Fox because he has Norris Trophy-like winning season, or nobody's saying it's Alexis Lafreniere because he has 27 points and he's showing number 1 stuff. That's the problem, right? Your team MVP shouldn't be your backup goalie who's played 6 games, and your team MVP shouldn't be a defenseman. It shouldn't. That right there illustrates the problem, right? That one question that we all just solved or tried to, and I can't give it to Trocheck, who just wrote that in the chat, because Trocheck hasn't played in a lot of games. He's been good in where he's played, but I can't give it to him. Like, if the Stephen McDonald Award, which is the award that they give out for extra effort at the last home game every year, or usually now they kind of switched it. For some reason, it's not like the second last home game. I don't even know who it would be. I really don't.
So going back just a step, we were talking about, Igor's contract now, and you were saying he's not playing that good, so he doesn't, like, you know what I mean? He's hurting the team. Even if he was playing that good, with 11.5 contract, is that hurting the team? Like, you got Parson in
Well, the Igor contract, I don't think has too much to do with that. I mean, it does have something to do with cap space, but it's not like there would have been like a very.
So where are these other missing pieces? Do we need to get on Chris Drury?
I mean, Chris Drury is getting real close now to having me be really unhappy. And I'm a Chris Drury guy. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I went to Boston University, won the national championship there. I'm a Chris Drury guy. I shouldn't say I'm a Chris Drury guy. I haven't been a defender, but I haven't gotten on him. But now it's getting to a point where it's getting close. And Dennis, I'm going to disagree with, who says Chris Drury is going nowhere. And the argument is that James Dolan gave him a contract. James Dolan, I understand, extended him in the spring. But James Dolan doesn't care about the $2 million or whatever he got extended for. If James Dolan wakes up and says, "Hey, you know what? This is not the right guy to construct the team," he'll eat the $2 million. What does he care to fix it? It's been bad. Johnny Brodzinski's another you know what? He's another candidate that could be up there. I don't know that he'd be MVP, but he'd be up there. But again, here's the answer. The answer is that when I'm asking you who the MVP is, none of you are saying Igor. None of you are saying Panarin, as you shouldn't be. None of you are saying Lafreniere. None of you are saying JT Miller. None of you are saying Adam Fox. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
It's true.
Oy. So, in Carolina tonight, in Boston, matinee on Saturday. All right, Friday. Home against Tampa on Saturday. Dallas at home on Tuesday night. The last 2 years, another awful, because you guys all like when I bring my kids into the story. The last 2 years, they're not doing it this year. The Rangers played the day after Thanksgiving. The previous 2 seasons, they played afternoon games in Philly. We went, Jess, me, and the kids went. And the first year, we saw them win 3-1. Great experience with the kids. They learned about Philly fans. We had a guy drunk, but like 50 minutes before the faceoff, he fell down the side. I mean, it was like not what you want your kids to see, but like you want them to get the experience. It was great. Last year was awful. Last year, I remember they had 2 shots in the first period. They barely showed up. And Mika missed a chance, a glorious chance. You all remember this, by the way, where Mika had a chance to tie it in like the last minute, and I think it was like a minute 30 left, right in front of the net. We were sitting behind the net. And I don't know how he missed it. I was terrible.
Was it a one-timer?
No, it was not a one-time. Do not even get me started on that. Because if with that, and Chris is going to sit here and tell me that the stats are indicative that they should keep feeding Miko a one-timer that lands at 57th Street. I mean, it's just I'm done. I'm so done with that.
Oh my God.
So that is that. All right, real quickly to the NFL. Again,
real quick.
What?
So big week coming up right now. How close are we from hitting this panic button?
How close are we from hitting the panic button?
We're not hitting it today, obviously.
I'm not hitting it today, but I know there's a part of you that wants it hit. I would say this. I would say that
television.
I would say that they have 4 games between now and our next episode. Carolina, Boston,
People are calling
Tampa.
for it now.
You know what? They have a brutal. The next 4 games are actually the next 6 games are awful. Think about this: Carolina, Boston, who's been good, right? Tampa, who's won 4 in a row. Dallas, who's good. Then you have Colorado and Vegas back to back. That is not an easy.
I'd be panicking right now.
We may not
be panicking right now. I don't know about you. I'm panicking.
You know, we're not there yet. But if you tune in next week, you might get it.
Don't get me wrong. Don't make me wrong. Panic doesn't mean we're eliminated from the playoffs. Like, you could be panicking before you get eliminated. You can be panicking before, shit. Like the word panic means leading up to emergency. We're not in emergency mode. We're not panic because.
Can you pull up Dennis's comment? Because I want to just clear the air on something.
Mika?
If Mika, yeah. And that is, if Mika's one-timer is an issue and you don't see how bad Panarin is at shooting, you should all watch tennis. I have gotten on, and I'm clarifying this because Dennis is someone that I talk, a lot of you guys I talk to outside of here. I have been on Panarin. He's been awful. I don't know what you want me to do. As a matter of fact, true story, my wife is a teacher. We know this. And today in her school is Jersey Day. All right. So she gets ready this morning, and I it's not like I thought about it, but I saw her come down and she's wearing a Ranger jersey because this is what we do as a family. Like, that's the team we have. And yes, Jess. And I knew before she even turned around that it was going to be Panarin. And part of me said, hope it's not Panarin. I hope it's not Panarin. But it is Panarin. And Dennis is the one who got her that jersey. So, yeah, she's wearing the Panarin jersey. So my wife loves Panarin. But I've gotten on him. He hasn't been good. I haven't defended him. But anytime I just go at anyone else, it always comes back to, well, you never say anything about Panarin. No, I do. But Panarin is not the only problem on this team. There's 36 of them. You want to just keep going about Panarin? Yeah, again, Dennis is saying it's never on him. That's never what I've said. I've gotten on Panarin. I don't understand that logic. All right.
Why do you like Panarin so much?
Stop. Don't feed the fire. Anyway, last week, strange thing happened with NFL picks. The second week in a row we pushed. We had Detroit minus 10.5 versus the Giants. They did not that did not hit, although they won by 7. We had the Titans plus 13.5 against Seattle. That one. We had the Steelers plus 3 at the Bears. That pushed, actually. That was the push of the week. We had the Browns plus 3 in Vegas. They won that game outright. Vegas is awful. My God. And then they fired Chip Kelly. I saw their offensive coordinator right after the game. And then we had the Eagles minus 3.5 at Dallas, which I'm fine with losing because I hate the Eagles. So I didn't mind that. So we finished the week 2-2-1. Our all-time atrocious year continues, and that moves our record through 12 weeks to 3-7-2. Here are our week 13 picks. All right, I'm taking 2 of the Thanksgiving games. I'm taking the Packers plus 2.5 at the Lions. Something about this game, Thanksgiving usually closed. Packers kind of hang around. The Lions, I was not impressed versus the Giants. Give me the Packers plus 2.5 at the Lions. I would love that bet more, though, if it moved to plus 3, because then you're covered by a field goal. I like the Cowboys plus 3.5 at the Chiefs. Here's why I know I'm going to be wrong, because I'm playing against Patrick Mahomes in fantasy, which means he's going to have 66 points like Jamar Gibbs did last week. But I'm taking the Cowboys plus 3.5. There's just something. Look, they're on a roll. I don't think the Chiefs are as good as they've been. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm covered by beyond a field goal. I'm taking the Cowboys plus 3.5. I'm taking the Saints plus 6 at Miami. Miami shouldn't be giving 6 points to any team. Maybe the Saints are a Canadian football team or the equivalent of it. That's fine. But I'm taking the Saints plus 6 in Miami. I'm taking the Jets plus 2.5 versus Atlanta. Atlanta is not good. The Jets have been better. The Jets are home. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just going on a whim here. I'm taking the Jets plus 2.5. The last pick I'm doing for my wife. I couldn't pick a game. We know she likes the Buffalo Bills. The Bills minus 3.5 at Steelers, I'm taking them. Look, the Bills lost on Thursday night. Josh Allen had a terrible game. The Bills they lost in Houston. They got lit up in Atlanta earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills got lit up in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills have been a problem, right?
Yeah.
If you don't win this week and you can't cover versus the Steelers, who just lost to the Bears, I'm giving up. It's your last chance. I'm taking the Bills minus 3.5, and they are calling in the chat to make my wife mad.
Yeah,
because she likes Josh Allen and Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
They're calling him Pen Allen and Josh Artemi Panarin. So they are. See, they're both of them. You can go the one above. They're doing that to go at Jess.
Wow.
Josh Artemi Panarin. But I am taking the Bills minus 3.5 at the Steelers.
We know your daughter's watching. Do you think Jess is watching right now?
What?
We know your daughter's watching. Do you think Jess is watching right now?
I don't want to know, but I'm worried that you're getting asked in the chat from Chris to record my reaction to the video he just sent me.
I record everything.
And Allie, who is a Steeler fan, would agree with me that the Steelers are not winning. Now, Dennis is also saying that my daughter is not watching. I don't usually like to talk a lot about the public school system. I'm not going to do that. Let me preface that. Let me take that back. It is the day before Thanksgiving. Now, we all were students at one point, and the day before Thanksgiving is usually a half day.
What you say,
right? So it's usually a half day. My wife does not have a half day. My daughter, before we went live, FaceTimed me.
Do you want to give you a little pep talk?
As a parent, you think if you're getting a FaceTime from your kid at 10:26 in the morning, maybe they need something. Something's wrong. I forgot my biology homework. I forgot my geometry homework, whatever it was. Hey, Dad, I'm just calling to say hi. We're not doing anything in school today. Can I come on the podcast?
Give me a shout out.
Nope.
So do we think, how about for the school systems of New Jersey, do you think we need to hit the panic button?
No, stop. What I'm gonna do one week, I am gonna come in here. I'm gonna rip that thing from you.
Right. I got another one at the dollar store.
you probably will. And I do see that Chris has sent a video to me. So
here's a reaction.
No. We won't do it live. You can record it after. Oh my God. I should react. Oh my God. I see what it is. I'm gonna faint.
Go ahead. Do a live. You don't have to show. You don't.
No one would understand.
It's fine.
I just saw the thumbnail of it, and I'm literally like going to faint. What I just saw, Chris. I don't know what this is going to be, but I see the two people in it, and I'm. This is going to be my Thanksgiving miracle. No, we're not. We're not. All right. So Rangers tonight in Carolina. In Boston on Friday. They are home versus Tampa Saturday. I will be there, and home Tuesday night. I want to say, before we get rid of episode number 211, with Thanksgiving coming up, we are very thankful for all of you. I want you all to know that. I usually say that around Thanksgiving time. I say that around the holidays. So you're going to have to hear this again in a couple weeks. What this platform has become, I still don't really understand why it is what it is, but it's been a lot of fun, and there is no platform without you. So you guys that take your time, that interact with us, that I believe we have 864,000 views on our stuff on Instagram in the last month, or you download the episodes, or you send us DMs all the time. Some of you still even do the MYPB email. Really, we're thankful for you. So however you choose to spend your Thanksgiving holiday, and I know the majority of you are from the U.S., so however you choose to spend your Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow, please know that we do wish it is a good one. We do hope it is sandwiched in between Thanksgiving wins tonight against Carolina and Friday in Boston. Probably not, would be my guess, but you never know. And we hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. That being said, we will be back next Wednesday. We'll have 4 Ranger games to cover: Carolina, Boston, Tampa, and Dallas. And tune in, because with those 4 opponents on the schedule, the panic button could possibly, I could see it happening. If they have a bad week, it's possible. He's dusting it off. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and have a wonderful. Oh, before we go, sorry, hold on. Before we go, Bamboozle Project. Check out the bamboozleproject.com. Use promo code MYPB at checkout. Thank you, Jeff Kings, as well. And thank you, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
Oh boy, the Hard Rock. Nope, the Hard Rock. Oh boy.
We're good. Have a good Thanksgiving.